The Big 12 Experience College Basketball Feast Week Preview Edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use that sign-up code, baby, TCE SGPN, to get a 50% deposit up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCE SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sportsbook available in 40 states. Download that Rebet app and use the code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That is Rebet, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football, college basketball, and NFL. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball Big 12 experience, baby. We're talking college hoops. Feast week is upon us. The best time of the year starts tomorrow. We got the tournament down there in Coastal Carolina. We got the one in Charleston. So the state of South Carolina, kicking it off for Feast week. Then next week, we got some of the big hitters. We got Maui. We got Atlantis. We got the one in New York. We got a couple in Vegas. We got it all, and the Big 12 is all across the country for some of these tournaments. We'll break down each one and what it means for the Big 12 teams headed into these pivotal tournaments for your at-large resumes come March. But first off, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Happy hour. Cheers, everybody. And joining me to talk Big 12 hoops, you guys know him from the college basketball experience as well. He's always fighting a family civil war in the Big 12, whether it is in Waco, Stillwater, all the way over to Orlando, up to Cincinnati, out west to Tucson. He is a Big 12 guru, a.k.a. the green mowing, weed growing, Troy Chewning. What is up, man?
You guys got sicked this weekend.
We did get sicked. We suck.
I remember I texted you in the middle of the game. Is Baylor football just good? Like, the offense looks pretty dang good. I would be worried about losing Sawyer Robertson to a bigger name program because someone's going to want to pick up a nice tall pocket passer, right?
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. A nice little piece, like you said. I know this is a basketball show, but we are in the middle of a football race. So good transition into football real quick. Thoughts on the college football playoff, BYU dropping all the way below SMU. If only they played, we could see who's better, right?
Yeah, we would know who would win in a hypothetical game between BYU and SMU, especially if it was played at SMU's home field or something like that.
Wouldn't that be something? And by the way, didn't Texas leave so that they could, to make more money, of course, but so that they would have a stronger strength of schedule? I turn on the damn TV. They flash their graphic up. Their best win is at Vandy, and I'm
Vanderbilt, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's Vanderbilt.
Wow. Texas would have finished 8-4 in this league. I will put my name on that one all day. Last year, they were able to finally get across the finish line because they played 7 backup quarterbacks. So, and they, for whatever reason, Texas gets a pass compared to other teams, but them being number 3 above Indiana, above BYU, above who else got one loss? Boise, some of these SMU. I don't understand what the committee's looking at. They don't have a good win. And their only team that they played, Georgia, they got their doors blown off. So
yeah, they get stomped.
I don't miss Texas. It's amazing how much they cater to that sorry ass program.
The biggest issue with Texas, besides the fact that Vanderbilt's their best win, is they've also had a stretch of backup quarterbacks they've gotten to play this year.
Yeah.
Like the same thing is happening last year. And then they get to a college football playoff game that they never lead at any point in time during.
Dominated.
They're a good football team. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, they're a top 10 team. They're not a top 5 team. They're a top 15 team. They're not up there with the best of the best. We saw them play Georgia. We know what happens when you have a focused, good team that performs, anywhere near average or above average. They're probably getting Texas. They just don't. They're not that impressive right now. I don't get it. The BYU shit is hilarious. Being ranked below a team that you went on the road and actually beat is hilarious. Kansas is almost scary enough because I was gonna say it seems like all the dominoes are falling for the road to open right up for fucking Coach Prime to just drive straight into that motherfucker. But Kansas might be good enough to knock them down too. I mean, we've been jokingly saying that they're the best 6-loss team in the country, but it's not really a joke. They're easily the best 6-loss team in the country. And the fact that they have a shot to get into a bowl does scare me. I think, if Colorado is able to handle Kansas, then things are going to look okay for them to be able to get, probably a college football playoff bid.
Should be, but I will say with Coach Prime, it always felt like they would get to the big game and then they would choke at Jackson State. So
yeah.
We'll see if they can finish off the job. I really don't know who's going to win. Iowa State, maybe. Iowa State all of a sudden's back in the mix.
Arizona State.
Arizona, yeah, I don't know if they'll end up winning it, but they may get there.
Because that's the only one. That's the only feature that we did our pregame when we were going through all the Big 12 teams that we were like, definitely don't bet this team to win the Big 12. So at like 500 to 1 or something like that, 300 to 1, it seems like maybe Arizona State. I mean, the thing about Arizona State and Colorado is they know their identities. So that's what's kind of scary is they just play the game that they know they're best at and expect it to work out. And it seems to be doing well. And Arizona State kind of simplifies it, but that'd be kind of funny if the two new teams matched up.
It'd be hilarious.
Arizona State, Colorado, and the Big 12 championship.
Yes, it would be hilarious. It just shows that the two best teams aren't going to get there every single year. I mean, with the unbalanced schedules, scheduling matters. And
the thing that the SEC is bitching about is what the Big 12 has had to deal with since Sam Bradford and Chase Daniel and Graham Harrell and Colt McCoy were all in the same league. And people were talking about how like, oh, none of those teams have, for every impressive win, they have an impressive loss. Yeah, because all four of those teams had great quarterbacks that allowed them to be, top 20, top 15 teams. Sometimes you're the better team and you're playing a team that's a little bit worse than you and they win. That's the reason why we play the fucking football games. It doesn't matter how good you are in theory. What you do is what you should be judged on. It's just like, I mean, it's you harp the same thing over and over again. And it's just, it's not going to happen. So whatever. Go Coach Prime, I guess. I've been fully converted. Man on a Buffalo now.
Yeah, I'll root for Colorado, especially if they get to the playoff. But
damn, they've even converted Mac. Did you hear that, everybody? Mac said he's rooting for Colorado. Where's Chad G?
Hey, I'll say I was rooting for Texas last year in the college football playoff when they remember the Big 12, and then they laid a fucking egg, and I go, man, fuck this team. I remember why I hate them. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting who ends up being in the Big 12. It doesn't look like they're gonna get a bye either. That was another thing. They got passed over by Boise for the bye. So yeah, let's dive into the basketball though. Enough football talk. We go live football tomorrow. Friday to preview the weekend. Make sure you check out that. But first, let's talk about, ourselves. Get on over there, download the SGPN app today. Help us help you. The app is completely free. And make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. We're setting a lofty goal here. Nobody thinks we can get it. 15K by the start of the new year. We can get there. Trust me. They say we can't do it. I guarantee we can. But here's what we need you to do. We need you to get on over there. It's completely free. Takes 2 seconds out of your day. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, TCE SGPN on YouTube. And also leave a 5-star review on Apple. It really helps with the growth of the channel. And it helps bring us more content for you guys. You guys want more content? You guys deserve more content? The way to do so, leave a 5-star review, subscribe, so that we can get more resources and continue to grow this channel to being the premier college sports channel in the country, which it already is, and will continue to be so. So get on over there, subscribe and like today, and tell a friend and bring 10 friends. Appreciate it, everybody. We're also brought to you by MyBookie, baby. MyBookie was the OG over here at the College Experience and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. They got a new app, or new website, new app, and you want to get over there and use our promo code SGPN for a $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is brand new, baby. Sportsbook available in 45 states. A huge marketing opportunity are now available. And download the Rebet app in App Store and use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit up to $100. That is the Rebet promo code SGPN. All righty, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Pregame show, guys, is coming up next in about 35 minutes. This is the Big 12 experience where we're actually previewing basketball as well. We're diving into the pregame show. So we are Feast Week. I can't talk right now. I'm thinking of the pregame show. But Troy, let's get into everybody's favorite week of the season outside of March Madness.
I thought you were going to say everybody's favorite part of Feast Week, which is obviously the canned Ocean Spray cranberry sauce. Just give me that shit straight out of the can. I'll eat it with a spoon. That's the best part of Feast Week. So to answer your question, it's not even basketball related. It's just eating cranberry sauce.
Eat, baby, eat. So I'm going to go chronologically in order here, pulling up the Big 12.
Just so you can talk about your ears first.
No, I don't want to talk about the Mountaineers. They play.
This is a good game for them.
They put. Well, that's not part of the tournament though. They're in Atlantis. I want to talk about tomorrow night the tournaments that will be beginning. We got Texas Tech. They are in New York for what's the name of the tournament? It's I believe I know it's at Barclay, the Legends Classic. They play St. Joe's. They play the winner of Texas and Syracuse. So potentially a Texas Texas matchup in that game. We also have Baylor taking on St. John's down in the Bahamas. Winner gets Tennessee and Virginia. Also, beginning tomorrow, we got Oklahoma State down there in the Charleston Classic. They got FAU. So those are the three tournaments starting tomorrow. What's your initial thoughts on Texas Tech, Baylor, and OK State in those three opening games?
Well, I see that the line is already out for Oklahoma State and Florida Atlantic because it's like a 2:30 tip tomorrow or something.
Yes,
so we get basketball on a Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon, which you can't really ask for much better than that. But my initial thought, this Oklahoma State team, is that their defense kind of sucks. So FAU does worry me. Seeing the line at 2.5 right away, that worries me. I think we probably have a live dog in FAU. But I would kind of lean.
Your lean tower?
I've got my lean tower right here. No, just initially, I would think that both of these teams kind of score. So I would think we see a bit of a run and gun game, and I don't think I would. If you're gonna bet FAU, just take the money line for sure.
So Oklahoma State opened at 2, or is currently a 2.5 point favorite.
What does Ken Palm say about the other two?
Oklahoma State's Ken Palm has.
I meant the two games that don't have a line out between the Baylor.
No. The other two are out. I'm getting to the other two.
Oh yeah, they just dropped.
There's a line out. But the Ken Palm, like you said, FAU favored by 1. I think I'm going to take FAU. I think
straight dog.
And FAU's already been in that tournament. So just looking at the bracket, they would play the winner of, because this is an 8-teamer down there in Charleston, they would play the winner or loser of Miami and Drake. So if they lose, most likely Drake. If they win, they probably would get the U. So We'll see how the Cowboys do. Your Baylor Bears are 1.5-point favorites against St. John's in the Bahamas, baby. I agree.
This is VJ Edgecombe's home country. VJ Edgecombe is Bahamian. Bahamas. Little known fact here. I don't know if this is still true, but at least 10 years ago it was true. We had a Bahamian kid in our fraternity in college. Whatever you take your boating license test at is your legal limit. So you can go in there at like 0.21. And if you pass that boating license test, that becomes your legal limit. Like there's not a set number. So Bahamas, place likes to party. But I will say Baylor's pretty comfortable going down to this tournament. They've been to the Bahamas quite a few times. And with VJ being from the Bahamas, I think as soon as you see any kind of the underdog stuff come out, just bang a bunch of hires on VJ Edgecombe for like 3-pointers made and points and whatnot. I think Baylor can win this game kind of comfortably, 6-8 or something like that.
This is going to be a big test for Baylor on the backboards because St. John's physical up front. Both teams have good guards, so I'm interested to see how the guards of St. John's match up with the guards from Baylor. I kind of think the Baylor guards are a little bit better.
Did Jeremy Roach and Duke ever play down in the Bahamas?
I'm sure they did.
I'm thinking a lot of these guys on the Baylor team have some experience down there in the stupid little convention center basketball court that they put together where everything's dark as fuck up in the ceiling. Yeah, I think this one is a pretty solid lay at 1.5. I might take it right away. I don't see this coming down. I see this going up.
What's your thoughts on Texas Tech? We're in agreement. I'm definitely going to be on FAU and Baylor. St. Joe's, Texas Tech, baby. Texas Tech taking 11.5. Woo!
Yeah, that's a weird one with that many points. But it is at Barclays, so maybe they'll get into the NBA style game where there's just you can't say that with Texas Tech. They're not going to not play defense.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably would take the points here.
Yeah, I think I would take the points here. If for some reason it gets bet down to like 9.5, I think I would switch up.
Yeah.
I think I would Benedict as soon as it goes under 10 for Tech. But if it stays over that, I will take the points with St. Joe's.
Looking ahead to Friday, a couple MTEs kicking off. We got Kansas State. They have looked like absolute dog shit. They're going down to the Virgin Islands. They are taking on George Washington. Other teams in action on Friday. UCF has got a big one at the Greenbrier against Wisconsin. That's a 5:00 game. And then the other one, this is not a tournament. This is just a home and home. It actually has a line out. Arizona laying 1.5 against Duke early on out there in Tucson. I'm going to take Arizona off the loss. I think they're experienced. I think Duke's going to take it on the chin a little bit in the non-con because they're young.
You might be right on that. I'm kind of shocked that Arizona is laying points. I mean, I get that they're playing just a normal home on-campus basketball game, and, thank God that we're doing this. This should be the norm. The tournaments that are played should just be 4-team tournaments that should be over on Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday, and then get back to playing home and home on-campus games. But I think I'm going to go with Duke in this matchup. I think Duke off of the Kentucky loss and everybody getting to see the Mark Pope video where he basically called out the blitz the ball screen, force Cooper Flagg to dribble and spin move, and then we'll double team him and take the ball. I think, I don't know, maybe John Shire is just not the right guy. I guess I could be talked out of taking Duke, but that's just a very interesting game. Both teams looking to respond from kind of tough losses that, yeah, maybe just because of the Wildcats song, you got to go with them.
I think Arizona at home is is pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
they're definitely different than leaving there for sure.
I mean, I still think the same questions are there for Duke. They're young, and they got to go now to Arizona on the road. I'll be on Arizona. I mean, I'll take the vets.
I think I like this angle from TV DBJ too, in that UCF Wisconsin game. Wisconsin is fake staples, like they're camouflage staples. They look like staples, but they're not fully stapled in. I do think that might be an overplay in that game.
UCF's good. I'm interested if UCF can get healthy in this tournament. Because on the other side is Pitt and LSU, both on the so like you have 4 teams in this tournament that have overachieved so far in like the first 4 games. Pitt's 4-0, LSU's 4-0, UCF's 4-0, Wisconsin's 5-0, and they all have a high major win to the resume already. So all 4 teams coming in with already a decent resume. You got a real opportunity to pad this thing if you're one of those 4 teams.
Is the Greenbrier a place where the white guys get favored because it's like a high class country club golf? You know, is this like a Wisconsin smash just because?
I kind of like UCF.
Yeah,
I think the world will be on Wisconsin because everybody saw that Arizona game.
I do think that we have to take into account that everybody but basically our Big 12 show and Colby didn't really like the Mark Pope hire, but you can just see how good these coaches are in the Big 12 just to keep some of these teams competitive with the teams that are at the top. It's nuts. Yeah, Johnny Davis.
You mean Johnny Dawkins?
Johnny Dawkins. Yeah, Johnny Davis is the Wisconsin old Taco Bell sponsored worst first round pick by the Wizards. Johnny Dawkins. Yeah, I'm definitely still thinking about Wisconsin, but Johnny Dawkins has definitely kind of silenced a few haters from the off season.
Troy, let's transition over to next week. By the way, Cincinnati's at Georgia Tech, true road game on Saturday. So, I mean, it's still a road test. Cincinnati looked good at Northern Kentucky. Well, let's go over to Maui. We have 2 Big 12 representatives in Maui. Colorado going to playing Sparty. Interesting game. Interested to see what that line comes out. And then we got the headline, 9:00 Eastern nightcap. Auburn, Iowa State, clashing styles here.
Clashing styles, and neither one gets their pretty significant home court advantage. Both teams are, awesome at home. And this is one that is kind of cool that it's at a neutral site because it kind of negates either one of those options. I just think that early in the season, when you have, guys committed to playing defense, it obviously we know defense travels and whatnot, but you're not as dependent on that offense's efficiency, which is kind of why I would go, Sparty and Iowa State with early season coaching strategies that kind of negate the hot and cold offense for you. So it's a very interesting game, and I do have my Big 12 bias, but I feel like Auburn is a little bit worse than Iowa State is away from home. And because of that, this game, what does KenPom have this line at? Is it going to be
-5? Kiss my
ass.
-5?
No, yeah. I mean, if it comes out at 5, you got to take the points.
Iowa State's outright. Otzelberger's been really good in these openers and these MTEs, and I think it'll be in that little gym. I think Iowa State also travels better than Auburn does for the Cyclone fans are psychotic. So, we're gonna get Otzelberger as a dog with a week to prepare. Yes, please. Yes, please. And all those Auburn guys getting on a fight on the plane.
That could have galvanized them, though.
Now they're going to Maui with all those distractions.
It's a hard ticket.
Auburn is not going to destroy Iowa State. They may be able to beat them in the end, but they're not going to destroy Iowa State.
Hard ticket.
Iowa State doesn't get destroyed, just like Houston doesn't get destroyed. They're basically blowout proof with the way that they play defense. Let's go over to Tuesday night. So these games are both in Vegas. Two Big 12 showcase games. Bama, Houston. Woo, contrasted style. So yeah, we got a heavyweight SEC Big 12 challenge here. We don't get the annual Big 12 SEC challenge anymore, but we'll get it in a version here. Then we get the Blue Bloods in Vegas, Kansas, Duke. So Duke has back-to-back spots on the West Coast here, going to Vegas and going to Tucson, then out to Vegas. And then we got Bama, Houston. So we'll see how Bama looks tonight as well. I mean, they got Illinois tonight. Houston has Hofstra tomorrow night, I believe. That is in the Players Challenge, and I forget who the other two teams. It's a pretty solid field, if I'm not mistaken. Houston is So it's a 3. You're playing 3 games. Houston will also get Notre Dame and Rutgers out there. So 3 quality games. I don't know. What do you think of this Bama Houston matchup?
Bama always scares me with their ability to score points, and
just don't guard anybody though.
Yeah, the issue with that is Houston, obviously, they're going to struggle offensively a little bit more without Jamal Shed being that driving force for them. But if you don't guard them, it seems like you're playing right into their hand. Like if you try to play fast with them and outscore them, it seems like the turnover forcing and the hecticness on defense kind of works a little bit. But right now, I think Alabama's a better basketball team than Houston. I don't think Houston has really found their offensive identity and who's gonna get that late possession, who's gonna get me a bucket or at least get to the foul line. But yeah, I want to see how Alabama does tonight first.
What's Ken Palm saying on this? Houston -5. If it's -5, I may take the Tide. But
I would take points with that.
I don't know, man. I want to see Bama play one more game. Because I have not been impressed with them. I think we crowned them a little bit in the preseason. So, what's your thoughts on Kansas Duke? I think I'm going to say the same handicap. I think Duke's going to lose this one too. I think the veterans from Kansas will be too much, and they'll just outgrind Duke. And I'm not going to take John Shire over Bill Self in a neutral site spotlight game. No, thank you. I'll take Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas is just really good.
They're solid, man. They're not even playing well, and they just find ways to win.
Yeah.
Kansas will lose at Creighton. That'll be their one non-con loss.
That would be great. I need I've got my Ryan Kalkbrenner future that's looking really, really, really good right now. That would be an awesome, awesome pickup for Creighton there. But I think here at what is this? The Terry's Chocolate Vegas Showdown. The other side of the bracket is 2 crappy teams, right? Like Furman and who else is it?
What? No. It's a showcase game. It's just one showcase game.
Oh, they don't play the winner of the other one?
No, yeah, they get them on like campus. So yeah, it's just a showcase game.
Well, I mean, I would probably still go with Kansas just because, like you said, we haven't seen their best performance yet, and they're still able to win some of these games. It's just having Hunter Dickinson in college is just it's like Zach Edey. It's a cheat code. The guy doesn't even have to play well to, compile enough statistics to make a difference. This is another one where Underdog keeps putting Hunter Dickinson's rebounds at 9.5, and that's just like you can add that higher to everything you put together. We'll see. I mean, obviously Cooper Flagg's really good, but when you have someone that young that's going against a full squad of guys that have their eyes on a significantly bigger prize, I think you got to kind of side with Kansas here.
Agreed. Looking at the other games, Troy, the Mountaineers get the Zags in Atlantis next Wednesday. I need to schedule a conflict during that game. I don't need to watch that. Arizona's also out in Atlantis with the Mountaineers. They played Davidson in the opener. I kind of think Gonzaga and Arizona are on a collision course to meet in the finals of that tournament. They set it up that way. They want Arizona Gonzaga, and that'd be a fun championship game. And then other tournaments that start on Thanksgiving Day, to be exact. TCU is playing Santa Clara. That game is out in Cali. That is the Acrisure Invitational or whatever. And then on the other side of that, there's two separate events going on there. Arizona State's playing New Mexico. So that's another good test for Arizona. Arizona State's played a good schedule. So you got Arizona State, New Mexico. You got TCU, Santa Clara. And then you also have the BYU Cougars kicking off the Children's Invitational out there in San Diego. So you got 3 Cali tournaments kicking off on Thanksgiving Day. And they got Ole Miss. So I don't know. You got any thoughts on any of these games? Just, I don't know, your thoughts on these teams, Arizona State, BYU, and TCU headed into their MTEs?
I do kind of want to say that I don't know how great of a game Gonzaga and Arizona would be. Gonzaga is just really, really good. The BYU Ole Miss one is really intriguing. Like, how real is Ole Miss?
In the winter, and then on the other side, you have NC State and Purdue. So another chance if BYU can win, they get a crack at Purdue. I mean, that's And then in the other one, Arizona State and New Mexico, the winner plays St. Mary's USC. And TCU, it's TCU. They would get the winner of Washington and Colorado State. So that's by far the weakest out of the 3.
I also think I would kind of side with Arizona State against New Mexico, just because they're going to have so many tests under their belt already this early in the year. And then you get into those tournament style schedules and, waiting around in the hallway for the game before you to finish and all that bullshit that comes with it. I think when it comes to that New Mexico Arizona State game, I'll probably take Arizona State as soon as the line comes out.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So anyway, we got to get ready to head over to the pregame here in a minute. Let's get paid one last time on the way out, because over here at the College Basketball Experience, we are brought to you by, none other than Underdog Fantasy. Use our sign-up code right above my head, baby, TCESGPN, to claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 bonus in cash. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And make sure you tune into the pregame show here in 12 minutes, where we will give out our Underdog entry for the night. Guys, you got to get on over there to Underdog Fantasy, the absolute best, where you can stack entry on top of entry and get 9-1, 12-1. Shit, you can get up to like 20 or 30-1 if you want, and easily you can win easy too over there at Underdog. Very favorable book, and they've been a great sponsor over to us over at the College Experience. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get on over there, college basketball. Rhythm. It has models. If you like offense, defense, you can rig your model however you want to rig it, and get on over there. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Troy, before we get up on out of here, one team that will make a statement, or that we will be higher on next week than we are right now after the MTE's feast week this week.
I mean, if you're right, you could kind of say maybe UCF.
That's a good candidate. I kind of like that.
Maybe UCF. I mean, if Iowa State is able to beat Auburn, you got to think that they're really solidifying themselves as a true top 5 team. But I think Baylor looks really impressive. Just being in the Bahamas with their 5-star guy, feeling like he's closer to home, has to perform for that. I know you're going to say West Virginia after they beat Gonzaga outright. We're going to think that they're really good. But
we're going to then Gonzaga is not as good as we think they are.
You know who else is a good candidate after some of these? Just because you brought it up, what if BYU loses to Purdue by like 6 or 8 points? We got to think that they're a hell of a competitive team, and if that's the case too, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe UCF, maybe BYU, maybe it's just Kansas. Like maybe Kansas beats Duke by 20 fucking points, and we're like, oh yeah, that's right. They're number one. They are impressive.
It could be. I like the UCF angle because they're going to get 2 cracks at 2 quality teams. I think Texas Tech could be there. I think it could be Texas Tech. If they go to New York, they take care of business against St. Joe's, and then they smack Texas in an old rivalry game. I think we could be singing the praises of our Texas Tech Red Raiders come next year.
Yeah, that's a good candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston too, if Houston can respond.
Houston could respond. I mean, if Iowa State goes to Maui and takes care of Auburn and then wins the Maui Invitational over UConn, they'll be number one. They'll be number 1 in the country on Monday or after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they would have to move them up. Well, it also just kind of seems like we're waiting for the collision course of Iowa State, Kansas in another Big 12 year that kind of goes back to the norm where the culture teams just have that culture and it puts them in a better position to have all these big games. But, just looking down the road, Iowa State, Kansas is going to be nuts.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. Feast Week is here, baby. Starts tomorrow. Starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you go subscribe to all our channels, College Basketball Experience, College Football Experience, Big 12 Experience, yours truly. Get on over there, like, subscribe. The road to 15K, like I said, quit being a lazy ass and subscribe so we can bring you more and more content.
Everybody in the chat asking about other games that aren't Big 12 games. Pregame show here in 9 minutes. Go ahead and throw those in the chat, and we'll go over them.
Yep. Get on over there right now.
Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Yes. He's at Troy Chewning. I'm at Moneyline_Mac. We are the Big 12 College Experience. We'll see you here in about 8 minutes, and we are out of here.
Lean.